I'd been secretly dating my best friend's younger brother for 6 months. I was nervously planning to come clean to my best friend, but then I overheard her excitedly say, "My brother finally brought his secret girlfriend home. Come on, bring your little boyfriend over too. Let's make it a party," she added. I stood there, stunned, and called her brother. My boyfriend said he was busy and asked me not to bother him. When I walked in the door, I cheerfully greeted the petite girl next to him. "Hi there." He suddenly looked panicked. 1. I stood outside James's house and called him. After 6 rings, he finally picked up. After a minute of silence, James laughed on the other end and said, "Jesse, stop messing around. I'm busy. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up." I closed my eyes, trying to calm myself, and was about to ask him if he'd brought a girlfriend home. But when the words were on the tip of my tongue, I just couldn't bring myself to say them. I didn't know why. Maybe I was scared to hear the answer I didn't want to hear from James. After waiting too long for me to speak, James became impatient. He paused for a second and then said dismissively, "I'm really busy. Let's talk another time." He hung up abruptly, leaving a call duration of 1 minute and 30 seconds. I stared at the screen, lost in thought. Then I texted Allison, my best friend. Soon, the door opened and Allison peeked out, pulling me inside. "What are you standing around for? Come in." I followed her in, took off my shoes, and reached for my usual bunny slippers, only to find none. The shoe rack held only 2 pairs of shoes. One was the sneakers I gave James for Valentine's Day, and the other was a pair of Danny high heels. The 2 pairs were neatly placed side by side, close and intimate. Other than that, there was nothing. I sighed and told myself, no big deal, no slippers. I walked in barefoot and ran into James, who had just come out of the bathroom. "What are you doing here?" James's face turned sour, and his voice had a sharp edge to it. I struggled to smile and asked him, "Surprised to see me?" James's face darkened, and he quickly glanced towards the living room. The TV was blasting the news. After making sure no one was paying attention, he grabbed my hand and dragged me into the bathroom. "2. Do you know everything?" James asked directly, without beating around the bush. I looked up at James, who was almost a head taller than me. I'd watched James grow up since he was in kindergarten. Even though we'd spent nearly 20 years together, I found out only now that I didn't really know the person standing in front of me. I asked him in a hoarse voice, "Know what? That you brought a girlfriend home?" "I'm curious, if the person sitting in the living room is your girlfriend," I said, my eyes reddening. "Then who am I? If the girl in the living room was his girlfriend, then who have I been secretly dating for the past 6 months? Who have I been holding hands with, kissing, hugging, and talking to all night long?" James looked away from me. After a long silence, he finally said, "I'm sorry. You don't need to apologize. Just tell me who your girlfriend is," I said, trying to keep my emotions in check. James fell silent again, this time for even longer than before. Just then, a knock sounded from outside the door. We both stiffened. Allison's voice came from the other side. "James, are you stuck in the bathroom?" "Hold on a minute," James shouted towards the door. He turned back to me, wanting to say something, but then the door was knocked on again. Allison called out, "Stop dawdling. Lily drank too much water and feels like she's going to puke." James's calm demeanor crumbled instantly. He pushed me aside and hurried outside, asking, "Is Lily okay? Does she need to go to the hospital?" I stood there, feeling the dampness of the bathroom floor under my bare feet, and glanced at the bathroom mirror. I looked pale, especially when James helped Lily into the room. I saw Lily wearing the familiar bunny slippers, and my face lost all color. "What are you still doing here?" James asked, clearly annoyed. I stood there, silently watching him, then walked out as he scolded me. "Who's that?" Lily asked him softly. As soon as I stepped out of the bathroom, James slammed the door shut. At the last moment before it closed, I heard James mumble, "She's my sister's friend."